I recently bought a Blu-ray player so that I could start my physical media collection. I also wanted to share my new endeavor, so I posted it on TikTok, and to my surprise, a lot of people loved this video. When I posted this video, I got hundreds of comments of people telling me to rent DVDs from the library. So many people who already have physical media like DVDs and VHS tapes were so excited for me and were wishing me well with my journey on collecting physical media. And so many people also said that they were going to do the same thing. I inspired a lot of people to, go get their own DVD player. Also, I have been thrifting DVDs for the past few days and it's been so fun. It's kind of like a new hobby. I really enjoy finding new DVDs of things that I enjoyed when I was a child, things that I enjoyed when I was a teenager, even into my early adulthood years. I just like finding those movies and shows. So it seems like physical media is becoming obsolete. In a way, Sony came out and said that they want to get rid of all their physical media. They are no longer going to be making like DVDs and Blu-rays. And so if you're someone like me who wants to collect physical media, or you just started your journey on collecting physical media, it's a little alarming to hear that because I just got here. And so now they're removing it. That's crazy. Also, Redbox filed for bankruptcy. So if you don't know what Redbox is, you basically rent movies from there. I don't know if you can rent shows, but I know you can definitely rent movies from there. I have personally maybe ever seen one or two Redboxes in my lifetime, to be honest, because by the time I was consuming media heavily, I was in my teenage years, maybe early teens. And at that time, streaming was the dominant way to rent movies or watch movies. I think when I was like 12 or 13, Netflix was really getting a stronghold. So I remember that we had a Netflix account, or my sister had one, and I just used hers. Now that I'm older and I see a Redbox anywhere, I think I appreciate it more because I now recognize how useful it is and how important things like Redbox used to be at one point in time. Blockbuster is literally gone. I think they closed their last stores in 2014, and I'm sure that was sad for a lot of people who grew up with Blockbuster. Another way physical media is becoming obsolete is that nowadays it's very difficult to find good laptops that have a DVD player that just comes with a laptop. I remember my first ever laptop that my mom got me back in like 2012 or 2011. Girl, okay. Sorry about that. But I remember my first ever laptop. I could watch movies on my laptop. I could play a CD on my laptop, and it was so fun. And so nowadays, when you buy a laptop, it really doesn't come with that. And I'm sure it's for good reason. It's because a lot of people stopped buying DVDs and stopped buying CDs and didn't really need that anymore. But now I'm like, maybe they should bring that back. So that's all the ways that physical media is becoming obsolete. And I feel like we should somewhat be concerned because this is a plot for them to keep us in this streaming hell, this streaming cycle where we just keep paying for streaming all the time without ever really owning our media. I want to say that Netflix had its golden age when Orange is the New Black and House of Cards came out. Orange is the New Black especially really put Netflix on the map. That show was so impactful and so influential at the time that I think they got so many of their subscribers just off of that one show. And they should be thanking those actors and actresses for their performance on Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black came out in 2013, and I think at the time I might have been like 12 maybe. So probably shouldn't have been watching that at 12, but you live and you learn. House of Cards is another one that you couldn't, like, everyone was talking about it at its height. I know now it's a little controversial given that one of the lead actors did some really despicable things allegedly. However, we can't deny how big that show used to be and how insane it was when it first came out. Also, streaming services, when they first came out, especially Netflix, they really allowed their creatives to just have free reign and make whatever. And that's how we got so many good shows and so many good storytelling, at least in that era. Nowadays, things are not the same. Things are a little bit, different. They care more about how many people are watching the show in the first 24 hours instead of letting the fan base find the show and instead of letting the show grow on its own. And lastly, streaming was cheaper than cable. To this day, it still is cheaper than cable. If you want one streaming platform, it's still going to be cheaper than cable, but they have decided to all have ads now. HBO Max never used to have ads. Netflix never used to have ads. Hulu did have ads. And some people on that TikTok video that I made were also saying that they pay for the no ads version of their streaming services and they still get ads. So it's now a matter of like, you guys are really being greedy right now. Like, how am I going to pay for the no ads version and you're showing me ads? That's crazy. Like, I would cancel my subscription if that happened to me. So, when did streaming start going downhill? In my personal opinion, streaming started going downhill when every company decided that they needed a streaming platform, because there's no reason for every company to have one. A lot of shows that people like have been decentralized into 50 different platforms. So if they want to watch their favorite shows, they have to subscribe to like at least 2 or 3 platforms to watch 2 or 3 shows, It's just sad. Something else that really bothers me is you can buy a movie or a show on streaming. Like, you can pay $20 to own it, and then that said platform can just decide that, like, we don't want to keep this show or movie on our platform anymore. We want to remove it so that we don't have to keep paying the licensing or the taxes on it, so we're just gonna remove it, and they don't refund you your $20 that you paid to own it on their platform. So that's another big reason why I'm such an advocate for just buying your favorite shows on DVD and just keeping that instead of buying it on streaming. Another thing that's kind of sad is actors can no longer make residuals and royalties from their shows that they worked on in the past, because the way the streaming model works makes it so that they don't really get that money or that kickback. And it's so weird because a lot of actors used to say how like their royalties and residuals from their shows really kept the lights on when they don't get work, because acting is a very gig-based job, and some of the actors that we see literally have to work different kinds of jobs and odd jobs just to like pay their bills. A couple of years ago, I saw a TikTok video from Kimiko Glenn from Orange is the New Black, and she showed us that she only made $27 from royalties from a show that she starred in, and it was a hit show. It did really well. It literally made Netflix a bunch of money. That's actually why they had the strike. That's why they had the strike, because a lot of these streaming studios were trying to not pay them at all. They were talking about using AI and all these crazy things, and I'm just like, nobody wants that. You guys want that because you think you're gonna make so much money because you don't want to pay people, but your shows are not gonna be good. If you put profit over people, it's gonna reflect in your services. People are not gonna tune in. People are not gonna watch. So you're just gonna lose money in the long run anyway. Right now, they're spending $100 million on movies and shows. I'm sure it's so expensive to make movies, but not $100 million expensive. Everything that is being made right now has to be a blockbuster. It has to be huge. It has to break barriers. It has to like make $1 billion. And I'm just like, can we just go back to making indie movies? Can we go back to making rom-coms? Can we go back to the basics? I love A24 movies because they really are doing something different. They are going back to the basics. Shows nowadays are 2 seasons long, and nowadays if they make a show, they take 4 years to film the new season. You don't even remember what the last season was about because they took 5 years to film it. They took 6 years to film it. It's just insane. So I guess cable is back now because there are too many streaming services, and now they're all bundling up to create one giant streaming service. The latest ones that I've seen is that you can bundle Hulu and Disney together. You can bundle Netflix, Apple TV, and Peacock together. You can get Disney, Fox, and Warner Bros. Together. Discovery, Disney, Warner Bros. Like, at that point, just get cable. At that point, just subscribe to the $80 a month and just get cable, because what? So I don't know exactly what the future holds with the entertainment world, the TV world. I don't know. And I also know that collecting physical media and thrifting a DVD is not the solution for everyone. Like, not everyone wants to go back to their roots and be old school like me. And that's totally fine. But for me, that has to be the solution, because I'm just so tired. Plus, it's so fun to go thrifting for DVDs. It's like you're mining for gold. It's fun and it's nostalgic.